The Giro d'Italia is a beautiful race, and in 2025 we saw real ups and downs in terms of the GC, and it was Simon Yates who became the surprise winner 7 years after he almost won the Giro d'Italia itself as well. Simon Yates joining Visma Leasebike really had just repaid that faith they had in him when he signed him. Visma Leasebike came into the 2025 Giro d'Italia licking the wounds of the 2024 Giro d'Italia, where they did leave with a stage win but no GC after they had actually won it with Primož Roglič the year before. Simon Yates was looking to be their leader with a very opportune Visma Leasebike team that included the likes of Olaf Koy and Wout van Aert. Simon Yates, of course, has a rich history with the Giro d'Italia. 2018, very close to the victory, 6 stage wins in total, seemed like the perfect candidate with his experience and expertise to potentially do something here. The target was the podium, but could they do more? The Giro began with a 160-kilometer stage, not in Italy, but in Albania, and it would finish in Tirana, the capital. It was nothing but a ceremonial start, with breakaways, crashes, and a brutal double ascent of the Serrel climb that tore the peloton to shreds. Little Trek pushed the pace to set up their sprinter Mads Pedersen, and GC favorites such as Arensman and Derek G were shelled out the back, yet Simon Yates remained calm, climbing with the leaders, holding position near the front and crucially avoiding the carnage of a late crash that caught out several contenders. But Yates was tucked in the bunch, not losing any time and seeing his teammate Wout van Aert narrowly finishing second. Stage 2 was an individual time trial, downtown Tirana, and Simon Yates, no stranger to winning a time trial in a Grand Partenza as he did so in 2022, but on this occasion it was Josh Tarling who claimed the victory on the day, while Primož Roglič was the best GC rider and Roglic's time was just 1 second slower than that of Tarling. Yates finished 26th, 33 seconds down, and moved up into 13th overall in the GC. The final stage of the Grand Partenza in Albania delivered exactly what Little Trek had planned and Mads Pedersen wanted, and the Dane took his second win of the Giro along with 10 bonus seconds, enough to snatch the Maglia Rosa away from Primož Roglič before the race headed to Italy. Back in Italy, when the Giro was back in Italy, it saw chaos, but in the sprint it was Casper van Uden and Picnic Postanal who pulled off the upset, controlling the run-in and holding off Olaf Koy and Pedersen for a career-defining win. Mads Pedersen survived in pink, but Roglič was now 7 seconds back and Yates up to 11th. Stage 5 of the Giro was a 151-kilometer undulating profile to Matera, and here Mads Pedersen managed to claim his 3rd victory in 5 days. This win with bonus seconds extended his Maglia Rosa lead to 17 seconds over Primož Roglič and 52 seconds to Simon Yates. Stage 6 was a journey to Napoli and the longest stage of the Giro, and was a chaotic day where the race was dramatically impacted around 70 kilometers from the finish when heavy rain caused a widespread crash involving 40 riders, including GC contenders like Jide Hindley, who actually abandoned, Adam Yates and Carapaz. The race was decided to be neutralized and later, meaning all riders received the same time and no bonus seconds was available in the sprint. After 6 dramatic stages, the Giro d'Italia finally ignited in terms of the uphill on stage 7, a brutal summit finish. Here UAE Team Emirates set the pace for most of the day, with Rafa Majka laying the groundwork on the lower slopes before the fireworks began. Ciccone and Bernal both launched attacks in the final 3 kilometers, with Bernal's move briefly splitting the lead group, but Ayuso had other plans. Waiting patiently, the 22-year-old Spanish star unleashed a devastating acceleration just before the Flamme Rouge. No one could respond, and behind him his teammate Isaac Del Toro finished it off by finishing second, and meaning that UAE secured a very powerful 1-2, and the Giro's first mountain summit test also left Simon Yates scrambling, and he managed to finish 11th, 8 seconds down, and moved up into 9th place overall, 39 seconds down on the Maglia Rosa. The following day, a 197-kilometer Alpine test. After a tightly contested start, a 19-man break formed, including Luke Plapp. Plapp launched a daring attack 40 kilometers to go to a career-defining stage win, finishing 38 seconds clear of Kelderman, Yates' teammate, and Diego Alisi. This audacious move had significant GC implications as Ulissi actually gained over 4 minutes on the main peloton, thereby leapfrogging the GC contenders and seizing the Maglia Rosa from Primož Roglič. Stage 9 was a special stage as this was the Strada Bianchi stage, finishing in Siena, and delivered a dramatic GC upheaval. Disaster struck for Primož Roglič on a key sector with a crash and had to have a bike change as he collided with Tom Pidcock, causing significant time loss, but Simon Yates avoided being entangled in this but he missed out on the front group that became the new lead group with Wout van Aert, his teammate, and Isaac Del Toro in there, who actually launched a powerful acceleration, distancing rivals and only leaving himself with Wout van Aert. Despite Wout van Aert winning the sprint into Piazza del Campo, Isaac Del Toro's heroic ride secured him the Maglia Rosa, making him the first Mexican to lead the Giro d'Italia, as Diego Ulissi had suffered completely, and Roglič finished 2 minutes and 22 seconds behind, losing crucial time. And Simon Yates was very strong as he finished 5th, only 1 minute down on his teammate in the second chasing group, and moved up in the GC and was only 1 minute and 42 seconds down on Isaac Del Toro, the new leader. Stage 10 of the Giro delivered a dramatic post-rest day shake-up featuring a 28.6 kilometer time trial from Lucca to Pisa, and the early hours saw Dan Hula set an unexpectedly blistering time, and the weather changed dramatically as well for the GC contenders, and rain started to impact the results. Roglič had crashed on the recon and was the best GC contender in the wet conditions, and Simon Yates was able to finish 23rd, 1 minute and 43 seconds down, but only losing 9 seconds to Juan Ayuso, and as a result moved up to 4th place, taking time on Del Toro, and now it was down to 1 minute and 3 seconds, his disadvantage. Stage 11, 186 kilometer medium mountain stage, saw an eventful final Cat 2 climb as Richard Carapaz launched a powerful solo attack with 9 kilometers to go, sweeping past the remnants of the day's breakaway, with the rest of the GC group showing little immediate reaction. Carapaz pressed his advantage, holding off the chase over the summit, and through the final kilometers, Carapaz crossed the line with 10 seconds in hand, securing his 4th career Giro stage win and making a significant move up the overall standings. The chasing group, led by the Maglia Rosa of Isaac Del Toro, who took more bonus seconds, finished 2nd just behind, and Simon Yates was in 15th place, getting the same time, but of course not benefiting of the bonus seconds. Stage 12 was a flat affair, and here Yates' teammate of Olaf Koy managed to take a 2nd win for the team in the Giro. Stage 13 was 180 kilometers to Vicenza. The day saw a persistent 9-man breakaway kept on a tight leash by the peloton, driven by Little Trek and Visma Lease bike to the line. With 10.4 kilometers to go, UAE members chased down the remaining breakaway, with Isaac Del Toro allowing teammate Juan Ayuso to take the intermediate sprint for 2nd, and in the chaotic uphill sprint to the finish, Mess Pilsen launched a powerful attack, holding off Wout van Aert for the victory, and race leader Del Toro displayed remarkable maturity, rocketing to a 3rd place and securing a valuable 4-second time bonus for the stage. Yates finished 16th and with the group, and was now still 4th, 1 minute and 20 seconds down to the lead of Del Toro. On stage 14, 195 kilometer stage, this saw Kasper Asgreen in solo to a breakaway stage win. The race was defined by a major multi-rider crash with 23 kilometers to go, splitting the peloton and catching out several GC riders, while the Maglia Rosa group, Del Toro was safe in the lead. Primož Roglič, Juan Ayuso and Egan Bernal all lost 48 seconds, and Antonio Tiberi losing 1 minute and 44 seconds, and Giulio Ciccone over 6 minutes, and ultimately abandoned the race. Del Toro thereby maintained his lead to Simon Yates of 1 minute and 20 seconds, who was now 2nd in GC, and Ayuso now down to 3rd, 1 minute and 26 seconds to the Maglia Rosa. Stage 15 of the Giro was a grueling 219 kilometer stage to Asiago, a mountain stage, and featured the Monte Grappa, On the Monte Grappa, a poorly timed mechanical for Ayuso saw him distanced, though his team was successfully pacing him back on the descent. Meanwhile, Egan Bernal and Carapaz attempted to test Del Toro, but the Maglia Rosa confidently marked every move. Crucially, the Passo Doria proved disastrous for Primož Roglic, who was dropped and lost 1 minute and 30 seconds to the Maglia Rosa. Despite the GC skirmishes, the stage concluded with Del Toro still firmly in pink and Yates second, setting the stage for the second rest day before the mountainous challenges ahead. Stage 16 was a brutal 202-kilometer alpine stage. While Christian Scaroni with Lorenzo Fortunato won from the breakaway, the main drama unfolded among the overall contenders. The stage saw Primož Roglic abandon after a crash, and a key development was Juan Ayuso cracking on the Santa Barbara climb, losing minutes and ending his GC hopes. This left the Maglia Rosa Isaac Del Toro increasingly isolated. On the final decisive stage on the San Valentino ascent, he faced fierce attacks. Carapaz launched a searing move, gaining ground, while Yates followed, both clearly gapping Del Toro. The young Mexican bravely fought to limit his losses against these sustained assaults. Yates finished 8th on the day, behind Carapaz, who was 4th on the day, losing 42 seconds to the Ecuadorian, but gaining on Del Toro, who crossed the line well behind. But the Mexican's tenacious effort allowed him to cling on to a precious 26-second lead over Yates, with Carapaz only 31 seconds down. Stage 17, a 155-kilometer mountain stage with Mortarola in there, not the top side, and a late climb to the Le Motte proved decisive for the GC, while an early large breakaway formed that had many of Visma Lease bike riders in there, including Wilco Kelderman. The brutal Mortarola did fracture the race, and Carapaz was the one who attacked from the GC group, briefly gaining on Isaac Del Toro. However, the true moment came on the Le Motte, where Del Toro finally attacked, a powerful attack that drew out Carapaz with him, and behind Yates was scrambling with Derek G. The front duo managed to catch the breakaway survivor of Romain Bardet, and in the finale, the decisive move came 1.7 kilometers from the line, where Del Toro attacked again, dropping Carapaz to win solo, and Romain Bardet denied Yates valuable bonus seconds, who finished 14 seconds down in 4th, dropping as well in the GC to 3rd, now 51 seconds down. Stage 8 saw a large breakaway disappear up the road, and that meant that it was an easy day for the GC riders. But Juan Ayuso, he made headlines as he was very visibly stung by a bee. Stage 19 was a very heavy test for the GC riders, and UAE members looked strong, but it was Visma Lease bike doing a lot of the work, which was questionable at the time. But when Carapaz finally attacked on the Col d'Urgell, Yates reacted instantly, with Del Toro caught out a bit. That ultimately came to nothing, but Carapaz attacked on the final climb, and here Del Toro was the only one on his wheel, and Yates distanced. Del Toro was able to roll Carapaz on the line to finish second behind the surprise stage winner from the break, Nicolas Prudhomme, and take a few valuable bonus seconds on Carapaz, and also gaining time on the group behind. This group included Simon Yates, and he narrowly avoided the Pellizzari crash in the last corner and finished 7th on the day, and was now 1 minute and 21 seconds down in GC going into the final mountain stage. On the final stage, it was on the Col della Finestra that was the big challenge of the day, and also the same place where Simon Yates had a heartbreak as he lost the Maglia Rosa as it was ripped away from him by Chris Froome. Visma Lease bike played an early card in the day's breakaway by sending Wout van Aert up there, and the break got a very long leash. But when the GC group did wake up, it was EF Education Easy Post who blasted towards the bottom of the Col de Finestre, with Carapaz seemingly attacking, with only Del Toro on his wheel moving off the front. But Yates was able to drag himself back into contention and be with Carapaz and Del Toro, and attacked at the right moment, catching Del Toro and Carapaz off guard, who seemed to look at each other and no one willing to chase. And soon the Brit had managed to get himself a fairly good advantage, and managed to get his advantage above that of his deficit in the GC as well in the virtual classification. Reached the summit alone and managed to do a daring descent, and shortly linked up with his care package of Wout van Aert, who had been in the break earlier, and Wout van Aert absolutely drove home this advantage as well. He paced his teammate hard to extend the gap even further, and behind Del Toro and Carapaz unwilling to work together, and it seemed like the Giro d'Italia was well and truly just slipping through their grasp, and thereby that meant that Simon Yates was not winning the stage, but he had driven home an incredible margin and taking the Giro d'Italia title in an emphatic measure, with the other riders finishing behind, and a very disgruntled Isaac Del Toro unfortunately not winning the Giro this year. Chris Harper was the first to congratulate Simon Yates of the other riders, stage winner and former teammate, but it meant that on the day Simon Yates finished third, 1 minute and 57 seconds down on Chris Harper, but Del Toro 7 minutes and 10 seconds down, and in the GC that meant that Simon Yates won the Giro d'Italia by 3 minutes and 56 seconds, and Carapaz moved down into third, 4 minutes and 43 seconds. So an absolutely incredible finish to a very close Giro d'Italia, but in the end it wasn't that close at all. Simon Yates, a true legend, an underestimated rider in the sport, and has really done an incredible Giro d'Italia, adding his second Grand Tour to his palmarès and really coming full circle with his Giro d'Italia love affair. 6 stage wins, almost getting the win in 2018, and here in 2025 he was the one who flipped the script on the young rider. What an end, and absolutely incredible. Anyways, with that, that's basically it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, as we've got many good videos coming up as well, and why not check out the video of how Tadej Pogačar won the Giro, or how Primož Roglič did it the year before. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you around.